皆さんこんばんは。ジャーナリストの構井です。今日は8ビットニュースから大事なお知らせがあります。本日4月30日に市民発信メディア8ビットニュースは世界中にいる独立した発信者をつなぐグローバルネットワークBEACONを立ち上げました。世界中で戦争や紛争が止まない中、ジャーナリズム精神を持った発信者の皆さんの継続的な発信というもののニーズは本当に高まっています。そうした中、独立系の大きなメディアに属していない草の根で取材や発信を続けている発信者の皆さん、この彼女らの活動を持続できるようにエンパワーメントをし合えるようなネットワークが今この世界に必要だよねということで8ビットニュースが新しく立ち上げることになりました。この番組はこのグローバルネットワークBEACONの参加しているメンバーの皆さんを毎月1人フィーチャーして彼女らがそれぞれの地でどのような課題があり、どのような声が聞こえてきて、どのような取材発信をしているのか、そして世界中には自由な発言や発信ができない抑圧された状況にある国や地域、エリアたくさんあります。そうした中でも市民一人一人の声を何とか届けようと地道に発信を続けている彼女らの発信というのを一人でも多くの方に知ってほしいという思いから、この参加者の皆さんのフィーチャーした番組というのを毎月8ビットニュースで発信を続けていきます。第1回の今日はインドカシミール地方で取材を続けるセハールカジさんにフィーチャーします。カシミール紛争が続く中、ずっと彼女はカメラ片手に市政の人々の日常の営みを撮り続けています。彼女自身も発信を続けていく中で危険と隣り合わせだったり、発信を続けていくこと自体が厳しい状況、そんなに簡単ではない状況もあると話していました。それでもカシミールの人々の日常を、営みを、思いを届けたいという、そうした熱意からですね、ずっと彼女は独立したジャーナリストとして発信を続けています。彼女がこれまで取材をしてきた人々の思い、そして彼女がこの活動を続ける思い、そこに隠された熱意というのはどういったものなのか、インタビューをしましたので、そちらをまずご覧ください。
Hello everyone. My name is Seher Kazi, and I'm a photojournalist and documentary filmmaker based in South Asia. And mainly I work from Kashmir. I have been born and brought up in Kashmir. And then after completing my degree in journalism, I moved to the capital city of India, which is New Delhi. So I worked there in newspaper, in online media for 5, 6 years. And after that, I was like, I have learned enough and I need to go back to my hometown and tell more stories. Meanwhile, I got selected for some good fellowships. I got some good fellowships, which gave me more opportunity to learn more about journalism. I work on stories like mental health and conflict in Kashmir. I have worked on stories of people belonging to marginalized communities, on gender, on climate change, and human rights. And the most important thing is that I feel that all ordinary people in this world, they have extraordinary stories. And I want to tell those extraordinary stories. And I draw my inspiration from strong women around me. So that is it.
Okay, thank you so much, Sehal. So today, Sehal will introduce the kind of reporting she usually does using some materials. So please go ahead.
My stories focus have been always on women issues and refugee crisis, human rights, environment, and people belonging to minority community. And I have worked in newspaper in India, and also as a senior producer, and also as a photojournalist in some online digital media. from India. So I have also directed a documentary in 2020, which was basically focused on the mental health and conflict in Kashmir. Because I'm a Kashmiri, I thought that there are stories that need to be that need to go out from Kashmir to rest of the world. So this documentary was all about how this decades-long conflict has impacted the mental health of women and children in Kashmir. And after that, my articles have been published in various national and international organizations. And I was also a grantee in YouTube Creator Program in 2021, where I was selected among 49 other independent journalists across the world. And I think there were 6 from India, and I was among them. And it was really a great opportunity for me to explore and to learn more. And as I mentioned before, that I draw my inspiration from ordinary people, because I think that human stories, they are very strong, and there is always a message, and they are always extraordinary. And I draw my inspiration, as I already mentioned, that from strong women. Coming to I'm a Kashmiri. As I mentioned, that I work from Kashmir. I have been born and brought up in Kashmir. So this is where Kashmir is. This is a map of South Asia, and these are the countries that belong to the South Asia. And the Kashmir part is highlighted right there, and Srinagar is the capital city of the Kashmir is in India, as shown in the map. So, and why Kashmir? Kashmir has always been in news since years. It's because of the conflict. It's because of the decades-long conflict over Kashmir between 2 nuclear power, Pakistan and India. And there has been various wars that were fought after partition, after 1947. So it was in 1947, then there was UN ceasefire, then there were wars, then there were some agreements. But in 2019, there was this Article 370, which gave a special status to Kashmir, and it was also stripped by Indian government. And the state was, splitted into 2 union territories. So Kashmir has always been in news because of the conflict. And because of the conflict, the most impacted, it has created the most impact on the people of Kashmir. So they are the most impacted because of the situation that has been there since years, and it's still unresolved. So this was a bit about Kashmir, and now moving back to the work I do. I started with doing news and stories where I tried to build a narrative around women and conflict in Kashmir, human resilience and disability, some of the themes that I work on, and marginalized communities, mental health, wildlife, and environment. So these are some of the photographs that I have taken from the stories that I did. The first one is of a woman farmer. She was protesting. They were all in debt, and they were protesting in New Delhi. I went there. I covered it extensively. The second photo is of a cab driver, how she would manage the house, how she would go out and drive a cab, and she narrated her story. It was empowering. The third one, again belonging to marginalized community, her story. And the fourth one, the woman belongs to a tribal community and telling their stories. So these are some of my focus areas which I try to tell, mainly focused on women and their stories. Then coming to the refugee crisis, I do stories on Rohingya refugees. So there are almost 23,800 Rohingya refugees in India. The story I did for the Catch News in India, and they are registered by these all refugees registered by UNHCR, but Human Rights Watch says that the numbers are more. So these are the camps. They live in New Delhi. The conditions are not good, and they fled from Myanmar and to save their lives. When I spoke to them, I told them, "Do you want to go back to your home?" They said, "No, we don't want to go back. We will be killed." So they prefer to live in India as compared to going back to their hometown. And they live in, the conditions are really bad. So yes, this is the work that I have done on refugee crisis. And then moving to the climate and environment. So there was this football climate cup match in Ladakh, which is again in the Himalayan region. And it was played in 11,000 feet, because Ladakh is it is in the uppermost part of in Himalayan region, and the football was played there. It was basically played to create awareness about the environmental protection and climate change. So again, these are the photographs that I took from the football match that I covered in the Himalayan region of called Ladakh. So it was played there, and it was, how climate change. So there were no plastic use. There were, it was really a very clean kind of a match, where really, and local fruits, local tea was served, no plastic was used. So it was really a good. They had created a really good example, to show how we can just keep our environment clean and protect our environment. So the dress she's wearing, it is very indigenous, traditional, very traditional to this Himalayan community. So another thing that I'm focusing on, this is my ongoing project, is about women in Kashmir and faith. So when women, we can all relate to it, whether a woman is from Japan or whether is from Kashmir. When we feel down, when we feel low, we usually go to places where we feel light, whether it is a park or whether it is, going somewhere where or some shrine or some place where you feel, or some, you feel good, or some monastery you feel good. So women in Kashmir, mostly, they prefer to go to shrines and they tie these knots. I have seen my grandmother, whenever she would feel low, she would go to these shrines, she will tie the knot, and, she will get some thread and tie it there, maybe with something. Women sit alone. I have been documenting this since years, and they sit there. Sometimes they distribute this rice, which is called tehri, to people. If something good happens or they have seen some bad dream, they would come. This is very traditional, and they would distribute this. They will come to these shrines. They will come and they will distribute this rice to people, and people will have it. People relish it. People love it. And some sit quietly in these shrines. They feel that, they feel light when they visit these shrines. So I have been documenting women and how these shrines are, they're tying them to the faith. So I have been doing this from Kashmir. These are some of the photographs from my project, where almost all shrines in Kashmir have knots of faith that women untie when their wishes are granted. So women untie the threads when their wishes are granted. and some are left there forever. These knots are important part of their faith among Kashmiri women, and it is believed that they serve as connecting link between wishes, prayers, and hopes of a woman and shrines located in various districts of region. So there are various shrines in various districts, various parts of Kashmir where these Kashmiri women go. So I've seen my grandmother always, maybe using some thread of a scarf. And whenever she felt anxious, her faith in the power of knots was strong, and it has been passed down through generations. And generations follow it. So these knots and going to shrines has significant spiritual importance and are deeply rooted in the beliefs of people of Kashmir. So I strongly believe human stories are strong. And so these photographs are all of ordinary people where I'm sitting, I'm talking to ordinary women, men, and they can tell you some extraordinary stories. They can tell you some stories from history that nobody knows, some stories from past that nobody knows. And sometimes, and I felt that, there is a lot of noise nowadays. Everybody is into news, but there are people who want to hear human stories around the world. Everybody can relate it to me that, news is already there. Everybody is telling news. And nowadays, news is more being put outside. But, there are people who just want to hear human stories. They want to feel good. They want to maybe cry. They want to feel somebody is living this kind of a life. So yes, my focus is on telling the human stories from Kashmir or from any other part of the world, because I believe that human stories are very strong. Because I'm a Kashmiri, I have been brought and born up in Kashmir, and so I would say that I would really want to do more stories on Kashmir, where there is this woman. She's last from her generation. So I took the not the front, the back shot where the snow was falling, and she said that, she might be the last person in her generation to sell street food in Kashmir, which is very traditional and indigenous in Kashmir. And I'm focusing on these kind of women. I'm focusing on women who are in sports. So her name is Feza. She's an MMA player. I'm focusing on common people. I'm focusing on art and culture, heritage, history of Kashmir. Where this man he is doing the paper mache. He's an artisan. And this is very indigenous. This is very traditional. And he said that maybe he's the last person to do it in Kashmir because maybe his kids will not take this and this paper mache art. So he has done the whole thing, which is again very unique. So Kashmir has been written about, but I'm here for the ones that haven't been. So definitely for those who haven't been. Now moving to another, what I gain from, the work I do. What am I gaining from it? So I think the most important thing is that, I am not gaining just the access, but trust, their love, their respect. I always stay connected. If I do stories, I stay connected. Just don't go with a camera and, just do a story, click a photograph, but I stay connected with them. And, it's always good. Even you feel light when you sit with women, you listen to their stories, and, they trust you. They completely trust you. So I think that it's all about, gaining the trust and not access. And, they are just trusting you with their stories. And I think that is the most important part, where you gain their love, their respect. And these kids, I was just shooting, and they went outside, and they went inside their house, and they came outside, and they were like, see, this is our drawing. We also want to show our dance to you. So this is a girl where I was shooting, and she was like, can I also click a picture? Can you show me how to click a picture? So definitely, why not? Being a woman, I would love to teach her how to hold a camera. This is what I should do, I should be doing. And then again, I was in Ladakh. I covered. So I was sitting with this local people, local woman over there, and we would just chat, we would just talk about their life. And I think this is the best part of my work, and I feel proud of it. Just a trailer of my YouTube channel, and I'm trying to build my YouTube channel, which is and I'm on Instagram, Facebook. So I'm just trying to build my channel nowadays where I would be telling stories more on Kashmir. And so this is the trailer. You can watch it whenever. I think that is it where, I would like to end this presentation with something that, I feel really good and I feel very proud of my work because I feel proud because I feel that I do it with honesty and I do it with compassion and I do it with, respecting the people whom I'm writing stories about. So, and I think this is the most important part of my work. And it was lovely having conversation with you and showing whole of my journey.
Thank you very much for sharing your wonderful presentation and your past work. I have one question for you. So I see you have covered both the internal conflict in Kashmir and the broader refugee crisis as well. So in terms of humanitarian assistance, where do you see the biggest gaps between international aid policies and the actual everyday needs for displaced or marginalized people?
When I have been doing these stories, of the refugee crisis or whatever is happening in Kashmir, I think that gap is there for sure. Because I feel that, even if we talk about the refugees living in Kashmir, there are some refugees living in Jammu area of J&K state, and there are refugees living in New Delhi and in other parts of India. So when I went there, I met these refugees in New Delhi when I was working there. I felt that there was a huge gap because there were newses of deportation where Indian government would want to send them back, and some were even sent back, and they were fighting for their lives. They wanted to stay here because they feared that they would be killed while going back to their country. And now they have been given these cards, but still they lack the basic basic needs, the basic human needs. They're not having that. So they do have the cards, UNHCR cards, they do have, but there are only some refugees who have that card, and others have been deprived of like education. There are so many girls who want to go and get education and they are not able because they don't have the documents. They don't have the documents, and Indian government is telling them to leave. And they are saying that where will we go? We will be getting killed. If we will go back, we will be get killed. So definitely, I saw a huge gap, when we talk about the international aid or what is happening in ground. When you report things from ground, you know the reality, how people are suffering, and there is nobody to help. You're suffering from every end. You're living here, you are suffering. You will go back, you are suffering. So I couldn't find that kind of a help because I was reporting from ground. I couldn't see. I mean, I felt that they were living a miserable life, but they preferred it because they wanted to live. They didn't want to be get killed. They didn't wanted their women to get raped. That is what they told me, that they have seen. One of the women told me that she saw her friend getting raped in front of her, and she had to fled with her family. They saw people getting killed in front of their eyes. So I think, yes, that there is a gap.
Thank you very much. I can really see that these voices comes from your dedicated on the ground reporting, and it's really sorry to hear, but definitely there's a lesson that we can learn from your reporting. Thank you very much. And let me pass it on to Fuki.
Okay, thank you, Kazumi. Thank you, Seha. So, as you said, there are a lot of difficulties around you in Casimir, but why do you continue to work as a journalist? So, where does your passion come from?
So there is this thing that, there is no straight answer to this, Fuki, that where this passion comes from. But I literally feel that, being a Kashmiri myself, where I feel that, I feel that I still have voice, that, I still have voice. I'm a journalist. I can write, I can go to social media, I can do stories wherever, whatever I can do. But there are people, they can't talk to anyone. There is so much happening, Fuki, in Kashmir, but there is this digital surveillance. If you will speak much, there will be this Public Safety Act. There will be UAP, it will be slapped on you, and there will be detentions. I know people who have been detained. I know people who are still under surveillance. And talking about my passion, even sometimes I also, honestly, sometimes I also want to give up. I'm like, let me, initially when I joined journalism, people told me that who on earth, women are not meant to join the journalism, you can just be a teacher, or join some other job. But I don't know, there is something inside me, and to tell the stories, to maybe to tell stories of those who cannot who cannot say their own stories. So I think those people keep me going, and I think they give me the strength to continue my work.
Thank you. I really emphasize with you. So, how can we, as an international community, support you in such circumstances?
So I literally feel that, I feel that maybe whenever I can go out or I'm doing some stories, maybe I can get some affiliation. Oh, I'm working for this thing, and I can show some kind of a document. Oh, I'm working for. So they will be like, oh, okay, fine. She's working for some international, organization, and it's fine. This is an international organization. She's affiliated with that. Maybe some kind of a document that is there, and some kind of an affiliation. And also that, when I will be doing the stories where it can be shared to the other parts of the world, I think that will make some difference. That will definitely make a difference, doing stories, and people knowing about it, a wider audience. Although I see that people from different parts are watching my stories, they keep messaging me, say, you are doing a good job. But I think that a wider audience will definitely help, to continue my work.
Okay, so last question. So, conflicts and wars continue around the world. So, Iran, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, and Kashmir, of course. So, how do you think we can engage in dialogue with people who hold different views or are even seen as enemies?
So it is a very, Fuki, I will tell you honestly that whatever is happening around us, whatever is happening across the world, it's really unfortunate. Where people are getting killed, where kids are getting killed. And I think that, maybe people from, I literally feel that at this point of time where so much is going around, the dialogue should have happened, in the initial stages. Now so much is happening that you just sit restless, and you just feel helpless, and you are like, what is going to unfold? So I feel, as a journalist, I do feel that, the governments and the people, the people maybe from UN, the somebody should intervene. I don't know who that somebody is. Somebody should intervene and sit with, people from both sides, and, have a dialogue where, there will be some negotiations, because war is not a solution. It destroys everything and it impacts everyone. So I think that, some international something, I will not take particular names, because they should have intervened till, things have escalated so much. So I think I really feel that, things have not gone that far where, where these crises are happening, where war is happening, where people are being killed, that definitely this should stop, and there should be some dialogue, there should be something to sit over, and, where we can sit and try to stop whatever is happening. I think that is it.
Thank you so much. So lastly, could you share a message for everyone in Japan?
So, my message to everyone in Japan is that, we humans, apart from our professions, we should always, work, we should always deal with humility, with sympathy, and with empathy, with whatever we are doing in our lives. In whatever situations we are, I really feel that, humility, being human, feeling other person's pain is something, we should always think of. So yes, the message for people of Japan, from my side, a person living in far away in Kashmir, is to be kind and being helpful, and always working with humility. That's it.
ご覧いただきました。セハールは2021年に私は出会いまして、Google が主催する世界中のインディペンデントジャーナリストをですね、集めて1年間ジャーナリズムを学ぶ枠組みがあったんですけれども、そこで出会って彼女が、カシミールの紛争の中、取材を続けること自体も困難な中ですね、人々のドキュメンタリーを撮り続ける、そうした発信を新たにチャレンジするということで、YouTube チャンネルを立ち上げて、そこからですね、一緒に交流が続いていたわけです。で、私自身も、自分自身も、メディア、テレビ局を離れて、独立したジャーナリストとして発信を続けようとする中で、やはり、経済的な問題もそうですし、それよりもやっぱり、自分だけの発信でどれだけの人たちに届いているんだろうと。せっかく取材させていただいた皆さんの声が、一人でも多くの人たちに届けたいけど、でも自分だけの限られた発信力だけだと、取材させてもらった方にも申し訳ないですし、それを続けていくこと、それの難しさみたいなことも感じていた中、セハール自身も、そうした思いの中、それでも継続してやってる。そういった状況をですね、お互いに連絡を取り合いながら、彼女の姿に私自身もエンパワーメントをすごく受けていました。だからこそ、こういう大切な取材を現地で続けている、そうした発信者を一人でも多くの方たちに知ってほしいですし、そして一人じゃないよと、孤独じゃないよということをメッセージとして伝えるためにも、こういうグローバルネットワークの必要性というのをすごく私自身も感じていて、今回8ビットニュースでこういうビーコンという形で立ち上げることができたことは本当にすごく嬉しいと思いますし、まだこのネットワーク自体はこれから始まっていくものですので、みんな一人一人が発信を諦めなくて済むようなエコシステム、 エンパワーメントをし合えるような孤独にならないこういうネットワークというのをこれからどんどん長く続けていきたいなというふうに思っています。セハールが最後に私たち日本人にメッセージとして残してくれたもの、常に謙虚であること、そして人の痛みをきちんと想像できるような人であること、優しさを持つこと、ぜひ忘れないでくださいということを言っていました。この様々な戦争や紛争が続く中で、そして経済的にも厳しい状況が続く中、自分の生活や自分のことだけで一生懸命になってしまう。それ自体は悪いことではない。一方で、遠い誰かの痛みを想像する。そういう余裕や発想というのを私自身も忘れないできちんと持ち続けたいなということをすごく改めて感じさせられました。セハールが発信を続けるその熱意というのも本当にエンパワーメントを受けていますし、彼女の発信がこれからも続けられるように、このビーコンとしても様々な方面で一緒に伴走していけたらなということを思っています。そしてビーコンではご覧のように特設サイトが本日開設されました。セハールをはじめ世界各国から参加してくれている発信者の皆さんのこれまでの実績や直接連絡も取ることができる SNS のアカウントなどのリンクもついています。一覧で見ることができますので、どのような参加者がいるのか、ぜひ皆さんご覧いただけたらなというふうに思っています。今回は6つのエリアにルーツがある発信者が第1弾の参加者として名前を連ねてくれています。ぜひ皆さんご注目いただけたらと思います。そしてこの参加者の皆さんから来月もそして再来月も毎月参加者の皆さん一人一人にフィーチャーをしたこの番組も続けていきますので、ぜひこちらもご注目ください。ビーコンの活動はこうした皆さんの活動をフューチャーするだけではなくて、事前にヒアリング調査を行った時に聞こえてきた、やっぱり横のつながりが欲しいよねっていうことだったり、紛争地、危険地にですね、取材する時の身の守り方とか、あとは日々苛烈なね、状況の方たちの話を聞く、そういう取材を続ける中で、取材者である自分自身のメンタルが非常に状況が良くない、そういう場合にも、どうやったらそのメンタルケアをすることができるのか、そういったものも専門家の皆さんから話を聞きたい。そういうね、具体的なリクエスト、要望なども聞こえてきています。このビーコンプロジェクトでは、そうした皆さんの思いを受け、無償でオンラインのセッションだったり、あとは横のつながりを持てるような定期的なオンラインセッションというものを設けていく予定です。その時の様子もこの特設サイトではオンラインセッションの記事として発信していきます。すでに第1回の最初のね、集まりの時の記事というのも、このビーコンプロジェクトを一緒に今やっている8ビットニュースの海外戦略担当ゼネラルマネージャーの平井和美さんがその時のレポートをしてくれていますので、ぜひその様子もご覧いただけたらと思います。はい。ということで、このビーコンプロジェクトは本日から始まったばかりですが、今後もこの参加者の皆さんは順次拡大予定です。それぞれの皆さんがそれぞれの地域で発信を続ける独立系の方たちをエンパワーメントし、お互いエンパワーメントし合えるようなネットワークにしていくために、これからも8ビットニュース発信を続けてまいります。ぜひ世界中の皆さん、世界中にいるこうした志のある独立系の発信者の皆さんの声、刻んできた映像、そして記事、こうした形で発信を続けていきますので、ぜひ皆さんその声を受け止めていただけたらなというふうに思います。それでは。